Hey, FlimsyLunchTray here, and welcome to World of Warships. I do apologize, this video is uploaded a little later than normally what I'd like. We had a friend with us from the US for the past 2 weeks visiting Mrs. Flimsy and I, so that has made my uploading schedule a little odd, not getting up at the normal consecutive times. But we are here now, so we're going to go ahead and get this video rolling. So we are featuring the Tier 9 Pan-Asian Destroyer, the Chung Mu. Now, if you were watching as we dropped into battle, you have noticed that this is a double aircraft carrier game. So we have two CVs, both of them at Tier 8 to deal with, and it's only one destroyer for each side. So myself and the Chung Mu and the enemy Mogador. The only radar we have to worry about is the Seattle 9 kilometer, the Congress 10 kilometer, and the Almonteplay, zero lane, the Cleveland basically, with a 9 kilometer radar as well, I believe. I could be wrong there. So 3 radars to be concerned about. So I'm RPF'd pushing up to this cap, and you're going to see what unfolds here at the beginning, but I'm going to just quickly go off the WoW's wiki and talking about the Chung Mu. Essentially, if you're wanting to know, what is the Chung Mu? The Chung Mu, it's a Fletcher class destroyer. So if you've played the Tier 9 American Destroyer, the Fletcher, when you play the Chung Mu, they feel really similar in that regard. The only difference is being the Pan-Asian smoke is a bit different. You can switch it out for a 7.5 kilometer radar. It's like 22-second radar, I think, unless you build into it to make it longer. And deep water torpedoes. That's really where the majority of the differences lie, and I think the concealment is actually a little bit better here on the Chung Mu, if I'm not mistaken, at 5.7. So the pros they list this ship at is excellent close range main battery firepower, good AA capabilities. I think they're more okay. Good maneuver profile, especially when in top configuration. Good concealment values, powerful torpedoes, and excellent detection values. Access to the radar consumable. Smokescreen can be made to operate nearly continuously with proper captain skills and signal flags. Has cons is a poor main battery velocity, incapable of damaging destroyers with torpedoes. Because they're deep water torpedoes, you can't hit destroyers with these torpedoes. And radar is short range and short lived. So that's really all I'm going to go off of the WoW's wiki there. And I'll talk a little bit more about the ship myself. So, we have even a decent gun main battery. Let's talk about that. So when you go from the Xinjiang to the Fletcher, you go from having 4 guns to 5 guns. And I think I have a 3.1 second reload time built up on these. So she can hold her own when facing other destroyers. Granted, she's going to struggle a little bit when seeing up against Tier 9, Tier 10 gunboat destroyers, but your concealment is going to come in handy there. I've been paying attention to the minimap. I have 6 teammates on this flank, including the CV, 7 right now, including myself, and B is wide open. So I've decided, so Mogador doesn't seem too interested to push in right now. I'm going to rotate over in cap B, because it's for free right now, right? There's no submarines in the game. Very often, this is foreshadowing, a lot of games in World of Warships can come down to points. I'm sure those of you who have played the game long enough can know that, sometimes the points difference can be really close. And just being able to have that leg up on points, especially like for myself, if I have these opportunities to grab caps early, one of the reasons I like playing destroyers, I have a lot of control with that. It can help control the outcome of a battle, is because I don't trust that my team is going to do well. So what can I do to better increase our odds? And in this case, that is being able to go up here and cap Bravo. So good main battery, the HE, the armor piercing, 12.1 kilometer range. You have a little more struggle landing the shots at further range. They don't have flat arcs, they have more of a higher arc, so you can shoot over islands more easily. The torpedoes, these are 10.5 kilometer torpedoes, and actually have a decent reload time as well. I'll have to pay attention to that reload time next time it comes back up. But decent reload time, that's really helpful. And as you see, you get access to the torpedo reload booster. It takes a whole 5 minutes to come off cooldown, and you get 2 of those. So this Pommern is getting quite cozy behind this island here. Looks like I have a 1 minute 45-second reload time, so not bad. He's getting a little cozy behind this island, so I'm going to dump torpedoes towards him. Now, the challenge I have here, of course, is they have the Mogador. He, because he's deep water torpedoes, they won't damage him. But him being around there is going to give that Pommern early notice of these torpedoes coming. Deep water torpedoes have a very low detection range because they sit so deep in water. So when they come up, it's often too late for you to notice to do anything. And I predicted that this Pommern, he's probably just going to sit here and chill out at the back of the island. There you can see the Mogador with all these torps, and that's just going to go right under him. They often like, I can just sit here behind this island, and my goal is dumping these torpedoes on him, forces him, hopefully take some damage. Looks like he's going to take 3 in total, to force him out from that position, that it's not safe for him to be there. So he's going to push up into our team in C. We successfully capped Bravo. We used our engine boost when we left C to get to B. And now we're going to head over to A, and we have our AA off. That's important. I think a 2.7 detectability range by air. And we don't want to be picked up by the carriers at this point. I want to be able to move around, pick up these caps uncontested. Now, the torpedo damage on these deep water torpedoes, because they're deep water torpedoes, they do even more damage when they hit cruisers, battleships, and aircraft carriers. So when I'm looking them up here, these torpedoes do a maximum damage of 19,033. And they're 67 knot torpedoes, but you can build into them, make them a bit faster. The previous ones you're going to have, their range is 9.5 and only 16,600. So that's a bit of a challenge there, and they have the same reload time. So definitely after you've upgraded your hull from hull A to hull B, you'll be able to have greater health pool, but then I'd go for the torpedoes next because they just do so much more damage. And we'll look a little bit more at the modules in tomorrow's upgrading commander build video. So I'll discuss that tomorrow. So make sure to stick around for that, and I'll to talk about it. So we're here on the top right of A. One of the challenges you're going to have with these torpedoes is that they're not long-range torpedoes. I mean, they're a modest, a good 10.5. I mean, they're not terrible by any means. It's not like they're 9 or 8. But often you're going to find yourself in situations where you're not able to launch the torpedoes on enemy battleships, as an example, or cruisers, because they're sailing away. That's the case here. So what I'm planning to do, I've picked up A. We control 3 caps, those C's being contested. I'm going to move back over to B. I'm going to assume that the Mogador is probably going to get tired of being in that position and move over to B. So maybe I can force him away from B, and we've just lost C. But this Tirpitz is reversing out here, right? And I'm like, is he going to stop reversing and then accelerate forward? Is he going to keep reversing? I'm not sure. So I actually decided to go ahead and go for the widespread torpedoes here. If you're dealing with battleships, the widespread is okay, but you're better off with just the normal spread. Because when you're doing widespreads, like I was trying to overlap them, like if you put both your hands up and your fingers between your fingers, like that was my goal when I do these type of spreads. But I don't think that widespread worked out quite well. They're not as interlapped, I think, as I would want them to be. So we're moving back here to Bravo. One of the things that's going to help you with these torpedoes is when you have ships sailing towards you, of course. You're going to see some examples of myself doing that here. And here, because they didn't entwine well enough, that Tirpitz is actually going to get away scot-free. He's not going to eat any torpedo damage. Oh, no, does he eat one? Okay, never mind. He does eat one. But I missed another battleship that was right there. So I was a little frustrated that I didn't get more hits there with 2 battleships coming up there. So I call out the low health Congress, and the Indomitable picks him up. And now I'm going to move more towards the south of Bravo. So we have these enemy ships pushing up, the Mogami and the Kansas. And I'm going to wait for my torpedoes to reload before I use the torpedo reload booster, just because, you know, we're only 20 seconds away. And I do want to throw as many torpedoes up here, because one thing that's nice about these deep water torpedoes is I can probably torpedo the Mogami, and then I can use torpedo reload booster and then dump the next set of torpedoes at the Kansas. And the Kansas probably doesn't know they're coming because of that low concealment. Mogami might not even pick them up or see them for the Kansas. So we're going to see what happens here. So rather than dumping them right on top of the other, I like to do a little bit of a spread out. So the Mogami is still hanging around in the area of where that Kansas is. So maybe our torpedoes even get more benefit here. So we're going to dump those out. I don't see the Kansas turning away. I think he's still going to be pushing into Bravo. So I didn't shoot them more to the left for the reason. But we have 20 torpedoes in the water. So we're going to see what happens here. It looks like we're going to get one, maybe two on the Mogami here. Yeah, just the one. So that's 10,000. So not as much damage to get on the bow. And then we have the next torpedo rack that's moving up towards Kansas. And that Mogador is somewhere around still. So I don't want to push my luck in getting too close. But we're going to go ahead and smoke up. There's the Morgador. I will lose a gunfight to a Morgador. His health needs to be lower, really, for me to successfully take him on, despite being in a Fletcher class destroyer. Looks like the Kansas has taken 2 torpedoes. He's got a decent torpedo belt. Hard hit the Morgador when he's sailing along pretty quick, but the Mogami goes down, and I'm pretty sure I caused flooding on that Kansas. So now I'm going to see if I can't set a fire. We can get some resets on the Kansas here as well. So we still have over 100 points lead at this point, but it's still early in the game. It can go either way, as we're actually down an additional ship than the enemy team is, or 2 ships. They've only lost 3, we've lost 5. So we're beginning to lose more map control. And we're going to accelerate forward. I'm paying attention to how much time I have in my smoke screen. And actually have some armor piercing going on there with the Morgador. But he's turning out, so those aren't going to land. Switch back to the high explosive. We zoom back in here on the Kansas. Looks like he's going to be eating those torpedoes. So I do have a video on Monday that's going to come up. That's going to be radar Chung Mu. I'll talk about running radar on Chung Mu. So if you're interested about that, that's going to be Monday. That's a live commentary. I decided rather than putting 2 videos into one, making this like a 40-minute plus video, I just do 2 separate ones. Same way I did with the Xi and Yang. So Monday will be designated for Chung Mu, but radar Chung Mu. So you can see me troll a smoke minotaur ? Okay, so now we have the Seattle and basically what is the Cleveland. Ooh, he just got slapped. Push in here. I'm considering opening up, but that enemy, I'm just gonna call it a Cleveland because that's what it is leaving the range of my main battery. He's probably gonna run and go dark. I thought the Seattle was gonna keep pushing in when I dumped those torpedoes, but I think he got scared because he saw what happened to his buddy. So they're going to kite and keep throwing a lot of HE at the Musashi, which is what they definitely should be doing here, versus continuing to push in. But I'm trying to defend my Musashi player and trying to persuade them from coming against. Our Indomitable is going in. He's going for the Seattle ? So, yeah, that's a bit of a misplay there. Knock out the low health target, and it looks like Musashi shot and missed, so that's a bit frustrating, and I'm trying to get close here, but I'm wandering within Seattle radar range now, so that's not good. Looks like he's going to turn and come back, so I'm going to turn away, and I am RPF'd still, what I'm assuming is by the Morgador, and I'm not entirely sure where he is. I'm assuming he's moved south of Bravo, and our CV does happen to pick him up, and so I call him out. And that's a bit of a threat to our enemy CVs, our Musashi, so I'm going to move back. I've got the engine boost going already, as you can see. We have the health pool advantage, 20,000 to his 12,000. So often I like to try to retain as much as my health pool in the first half of a game, so then I can afford to expend some as I deal with enemy destroyers later on in the game when you're not necessarily a gunboat type destroyer. But we're going to throw torps again at Seattle, and now we're going to move in on the Smorgador, who's not steered on the island. He's probably going to accelerate very quickly here because he's French. So we're going to start leading him quite quickly. So I'm assuming, yeah, he's going to go left here behind the island. So we're going to keep leading. Knocked out his engine. Incapacitation. And he's going to get behind the island. Okay, so he's gone, well, CV's lighting him up now. I'm going to keep pushing up here to deal with him because I think he's just going to keep pushing south. Even though I'm still lit by the Seattle because of my gun bloom. And our Musashi is getting pretty low on his health. He's taking quite a lot of HE damage there. Frustrating him trying to deal with that Seattle. Feel for him. But here comes the Morgador as we lose the Musashi. I got a HE loaded. See if I can get a salvo off here before he comes across out from the island. I don't know what that shell was thinking. So we straddle him. And now we're going to lay into him. But you can see even the amount of damage he does in a short amount of time. Like he gets 3 salvos off there, bringing us down to 12,000 health when we started that engagement with 20,000. So again, when you're facing more of those gunboat style destroyers, especially the French do it really well, you want to try to enter the fight with more health. Now I'm paying attention to the CV here, so I'm going to go ahead and open up. Because he's most likely looking for me. Seattle still farther away, but the game's coming to an end and the enemy team has lead on points. So need to get up here and take Bravo, but I really want our CV to kill that Azure Lane multiplayer, the Cleveland, because if he kills him, it will buy us additional time in terms of the points, but it'll give us put them underneath us in points and we'll be back on the lead. So so that's a bit of a challenge. So as much as I want to keep trying to hit the torpedoes on the Seattle, I just need to go for the cap and stop their cap progress. So now it's 4 versus 6. Both CVs still in game with our Congress running. These torpedoes are looking good. 2. Yeah, boy. So we're able to get the kill there. So Seattle, he can't keep his hydro up forever. So that works out well. Pinging the map again, like, yo, kill that last guy. And letting my team know I'm going to move up and cap Bravo. So our Congress is pretty low on health. I don't expect him to be in the world much longer with us. He just got hit pretty good and under 500 health. Oof. So we're going to get up here on Bravo. We've been pretty fortunate this entire game that the CVs really haven't focused us. They're pretty much letting us get away with what we need to do. So, you know, we have 3 solo caps as we trade cruisers there. 3 solo caps. And now possibly getting our 4th solo cap. So that's kind of what I like. You know, this has decent concealment, 5.7. If it was something like 6.1, I would question why that concealment be so bad. When you're not building for the concealment, if Wargaming gave it worse concealment values. But I think they've done pretty well just because, you know, you can't use your torpedoes on enemy destroyers, so that can make life a little bit challenging and difficult. So now if you're looking at the points, it's we barely have the lead. 798, 797, so extremely close there. Now, if we get this cap, it will tick up some more additional points. Our CVs are both quite healthy at this point. So that's good for us as they peck away at the Iowa who's pushing in on them. Poor guy. But we're going to accelerate. We don't want to be a sitting duck. We're going to turn the AA off and prioritize our AA sector. So the Indomitable, he's here. He's wanting to have a piece of us. We're going to turn away. And here comes the Lexington. So now they decide that I am a worthy target and the dying seconds of the match. Now, I didn't pay attention to how close the end of the match was as their lion steps on A, but I'm like, hey, I can actually just smoke up and I can make it more difficult for them to land shots on me. Take a little bit of chip damage there, not too much, and the match is going to end. So, indeed, a game of points here with Chung Mu on Mountain Range. So, I'm going to end with over 124,000 damage, 9 torpedo hits, 2 destroyed, 4 solo caps, a couple defended with the floodings. You get good flooding chances with these torpedoes as well, with almost earning 500,000 credits as I'm grinding up the line now for Yu Yang. So I think I had 4 games in Chung Mu in a row, and this was one of those games, all wins. And we topped the team with over 2,300 base experience. Our Congress definitely got that AA expert, taking down 42 planes. So we complimented him, and at least our CVs for being wise enough for living. And here's a breakdown of the damage. So we got 65,000 spotting damage and potential damage 170,000. So that was not too high. We were mostly left alone to our own devices there. And here's with premium count with XP, credit modifiers and such of how we ended. So I'm running an interesting commander. It gives me a little bit of buff on the survivability here. So if I'm not mistaken. So we'll look at that tomorrow with our upgrade and commander build here with the Chung Mu. So I hope you appreciate this battle. I do enjoy playing the Chung Mu over the Xian Yang. And then Monday you'll see Chung Mu with radar in action and how I approach playing this class with radar. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. If you did not, give it a thumbs down. Subscribe if you do want to see more, really close to 1,000 subscribers. And if you already subscribed, thanks so much. I would appreciate it. And we'll catch you next time. Take care.